No, absolutely, it should be because I'm here. Um, it's what the people come for, obviously, for you know top tier, top comms. That's what I heard in the day. Thankfully, no one's readied up again in the chat. We've got Drive Forever. Do you know what, Toby Cyril? You sound exactly how you look. He's put, we'll see. Starts are not my strong point. Yeah, I mean, fair play. Um, Drive Forever. I'm a fraud. Nice, nice, nice. Nigel Piggle, points are on Sunday. Fair play. Gary, you were the chosen one. Shut up, Gary. Uh, Diamond says, "What's your favourite song, Bidley?" Well, it's a toss-up between two. It's between Waka Waka, which was obviously the song for the 2010 South African World Cup performed by Shakira. Absolutely fantastic song. Or it is Titanium, as some people know. David Guetta featuring Sia. Absolute banger. I think that was released in 2012. There's so many bangers on that David Guetta album, to be fair. So it was a hard choice, but it definitely is that one. We have got TS9, A up the bidleys on comms. Go on, lad. Yeah, give it the big one. This is what he does. Nigel Piggle, I can say that Preston North End will smash you on the 15th. Fuck is that about? LWS Yorkie, big up Airport FC. Oh, Luton. Yeah, yeah. Oh, fair play.
Wait, what?
Colin nearly got beat by Grimsby. Did you nearly get beat by Grimsby, lad?
I mean, we drew with them in the FA Cup, I guess. That's a thing that happened. But we are still in the FA Cup.
Right, okay, so clearly this has caused controversy, right? So I put up a vote a few days ago about cream eggs or mini eggs at Easter. Right. And the chat, right?
The chat's gone crazy.
So I put up a vote, what was it, a week ago? Because I went into my own bargains by my house and I saw that the cream eggs were up and the mini eggs were up and they were next to each other, right? And I thought to myself, I thought, those two confectionaries, they only come out at Easter, don't they? You never see a cream egg at Christmas time. You never see a mini egg at Christmas time. And I just thought to myself, out of the two, which one are you preferring? And in my head, I thought it has to be mini eggs. I much prefer mini eggs. Because with the cream egg, it's just one little chocolate wrapped in foil. But with a bag of mini eggs, like it goes on for a longer time. So I think that all the people that confirm that they prefer cream eggs like things to be short but sweet, and people that like mini eggs like things to go on a little bit longer, but perhaps not be as good. Is my analysis of the situation.
I mean,
So there you go.
there's a poll up, and it's currently 9-0 to cream eggs.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Mini eggs top tier as well, but
No,
cream eggs
no,
are the
they're
one.
just saying that. They're just saying that. They're trying to wind me up. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. You can all do one. You can all do. I'm not having this. Really, the poll spoke the other day was 50-50, 16 for each. I'll take that. I can't separate them much either. But if I had to pick one, it would be mini eggs. I have got a question for the end of the stream, by the way. I know people don't like. Those of you out there in the chat right now that don't like watching interviews, right? I've got a controversial question to ask all of our podium sitters. So be afraid, and I want to hear your feedback on this as well at the end of the stream. Is this the part? I don't know if you do this. Do I have to run through the grid now? Is this what we do still?
I mean, they can see it on screen. I think probably.
In P19, we have Dynamo Dan for Ferrari. Then we saw him set a time in Q1, I should say, Q1 that wasn't particularly quick, but hopefully he's got a bit more racecraft about him than Jock P18. No surprise. Colin down in P17 probably needs to improve a little bit from that. Not going to lie to you, but didn't quite get his quickest time in. in Q1. Collateral Lads, his teammate just ahead of him, also looking to improve in the race. Brookie Min, you'd expect him to fight through the field as well. Then Henkers we have in P14, teammate, of course, of Dynamo Dan. He definitely needs to improve if Ferrari want to get some good points today. Razagamer in P13, Fliniesta P12 for the Haas. Not too bad considering what has happened here. How is Nigel Piggle in the fight? We've
Not
got
ideal.
Blackie then in P13. Knocko God, I expect more than P10 from him, but McLaren definitely do have a good pairing and a chance of some good points today. Jensen on his return to league racing. P9 for Red Bull. We have Niall Behrman, P8 for Mercedes, last week race winner. Of course, expect him to find some places. We know he's very good at racecraft. Hermione, P7, lives in P6. That surprises me, but he's found himself in the top 6 today, hopefully looking to carry over that pace in the race. NVR Repo in P5, AMS Drive in P4, RBT. Adsu surprises me that he's on the front row, but there he is, very quick of course. Not quite so good in the race, along with Drobel though. Both of them will be looking to improve in the race and stay in those podium positions.
And as always, getting a really shit camera angle for the start. So let's have a look at this off-board from Drobel as Ads gets a fantastic start away from the line. And he's up into P1 way before turn 1. Can he hit his braking zone? Yes, he can. And he comes out of turn 1 in the lead. RBT up into third. At the moment, Liv's had a really good start. He is in P4 challenging... is at the moment, AMS Drive very close to the back of RBT there. Looks like Mag User's had a half spin. He's managed to collect it. But let's have a look around Sector 2 here. As contact, I think, was made there, but everyone's got away with it fine. RBT and Libs going at it for P3. Libs has the inside coming into this downhill left-hander. Very tricky. Oh, and he's touched Drobel. Libs has hit Drobel. That is absolutely shocking. And that is not ideal for the Tier 1s. Drobel has himself somehow a 5-second penalty for being spun. Thank you, game. Thank you, game.
Massive contact, as you said. That caused a massive pile-up throughout the field. Jensen's running around out there with no front wing on him. I think there's a Williams as well. I think it's Blackie that doesn't have a front wing either. I don't think anyone was expecting that collision. I think it's a Ferrari as well. Don't tell me that's Dynamo Dan with front wing damage. He has got front wing damage. Let's see if he pits. He was having such a fantastic start. He comes into the pits. He made up a good 6 places off the line, but has to come into the pits. I was just going to say, him and Collateral Lads both had an absolutely unbelievable start to the race, but both now in the pits for repairs to the front wing following that contact, which caused an absolute traffic jam then.
Yeah, it's a double stack from Ferrari. Not a great start for both of the lads, Henkers and Dynamo Dan, both needing front wing changes. Henkers had no front wing at all, so caught up in some incidents. Lap 1, there's 5 in the pits, and there is no safety car at the moment. Raza Gamer HD, I think, has managed to rejoin the lobby. I hope so. Jensen is not doing particularly great on his return. He is trying his best to warm up his hards, but let's jump towards the front. We've got Fliniesta, who Bidley discounted earlier completely. He's up into P5 and he's done pretty well for himself here. He's right on the back of Hermione. And, well, he's going to be looking to get the job done. He's burnt half of his ERS already. And, of course, DRS not activated for another lap as RBT sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:32 dead. Is Fliniesta going to have enough to go for a move into turn 1?
Yeah,
Tries it.
absolutely. Sticks a wheel up the inside. Looks like he might try and get the move done around the outside. If not here, he'll get the inside for 4 as predicted. But, I mean, no disrespect to Iniesta, Hermione has not used any of his ERS there. He knows that he's playing a longer game here than fighting those few corners. He'll hold on to that battery because Bahrain is a circuit where it is difficult to get that ERS back, and he will look to hold on to it then. But I mean, Niall Behrman now might try and throw it up the inside as well. And of course, these drivers have the medium tyres on compared to Hermione's hard tyres, so we'll have that advantage as well. And expect to see Mag User through very shortly as well.
Yeah, but for the moment has to sit behind, and this is not going to be helping Magusa's race. Iniesta is going to be getting away. He's already out of the 1 second, 1 second DRS. So Magusa's going to have to make a count into turn 1 and hope that DRS is going to drag him back towards Iniesta, who is himself 3 seconds behind MVR Drepo. Doing pretty well. A little bit lonely for him at the moment, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that there's pretty much a 50-50 split in the field at the moment in terms of drivers on the medium, drivers on the hard. I know we saw at the start of the race a pretty similar split as well. We've seen 5 drivers come into the pits, 4 of those now on the medium compound of tyre then, so they'll have to stop again before the end of the race. Definitely, and we haven't had a safety car as of yet, but Jensen on the hard tyres will definitely be hoping for a couple of safety cars if he doesn't want to think about stopping again. But that is why you're seeing at the moment the pace of drivers around the likes of Hermione and NVRJ Repo, who it must be said is dropping off RBT, but Ads out in front is on the hard tyre and doing a very good job at the minute of managing that hard tyre. We are now 4 laps into this race, and Ads is just under a second now ahead of RBT, who we know has got a lot of pace in that McLaren today. But considering he's used a little bit less battery as well, Ads is managing that gap pretty well so far.
Yep, Ads himself very, very quick driver on his day, has a really good race pace, and I think that's where his strength is. He is, of course, on the hard tyres, but he's managed the gap pretty well to RBT. I know he's now in the DRS, but he's definitely a wily contender, is Ads, and I reckon he's going to be in good stead to challenge RBT as much as he can. Meanwhile, Gamer's just left again. If you wouldn't mind, Bidley, sending him another invite. And while RBT catches up to Ads in P1, he also pulls further away from Drepo. Drepo, who now has Iniesta 2 seconds behind, as we'll jump towards Ermine and AMS Drive. AMS Drive getting up the inside into that right-hander. Gamer is back in, thankfully, as we saw Noko go slightly wide out of the hairpin, and that's probably not helped his run down this DRS straight. AMS Drive definitely closer than he was. 6.5 tenths is the time. Ermine further 7 tenths back on that.
No, I mean, Ermine is slipping back a little bit further than I thought. And we're 5 laps in here, but he is struggling at the minute. I don't know if he got any sort of damage we don't know about from that earlier contact, but down in P8 now, nearly a second off AMS Drive, and I mean, where was he? He was ahead of Iniesta at one point, who's now a good few seconds on the road, and I don't think there'd be that much difference in the tyres, but Hermine now slipping back towards Drobel, who we know is very quick, of course, and carrying that unfair 5-second penalty. But yeah, he's struggling at the minute.
Yeah, meanwhile, AMS Drive is getting past the McLaren of Noko. He got around the outside of turn 4. Fantastic move. Plenty of room left by Toby Cyril. Of course, we knew he was going to do it anyway. And, well, it looks like his number one fan is in the chat to cheer him on. That is, of course, the Red Bull driver of Halley Ferrari, who's not here tonight. I believe... Oh, AMS Drive's made a real hash of that corner. And Noko is going to go side by side. We're going to hop on top, hop on board with Airmine. And not much came of it. Noko got the place back, and AMS Drive will need to retake that. Meanwhile, Drobel right in the slipstream of Ermine. Of course, these two on the same tyre compound. And, well, they're battling for position, both in the grand scheme of things and obviously in the here and now. Drobel will have the DRS down this back straight. Of course, so will Ermine. And yeah, it doesn't look like Drobel's got the straight line speed. You can see that gap not really coming down. AMS Driver's gone up the inside once again of Noko. He gets around the outside at turn 3. Now down the straight into turn 4. You can get a pretty good drive around the outside around here as Noko tries to hang it. He's gone a little bit wide though. And that has allowed Drive to get the position in the end. So Noko slots in behind. And, well, these two are losing time at the moment. Drobel trying to make a move on Livs. Who Livs has dropped. Or has Livs come from behind?
Yeah, Livs has got past Drobel and all that. It was a very simple move down into turn 4, but Livs with that tyre advantage at the moment. We'd expect him to get ahead of those hard tyre runners, but expect that advantage to switch in the opposite direction in the next couple of laps. We'll probably see the likes of Drobel start to come back through these medium tyre runners. If you look in the field at the minute, RBT, Fliniesta, Magusa, AMS Drive, Noko and Livsen all on the medium tyres at the moment, as the pass going on up ahead, fairly routine then from Magusa ahead of Fliniesta into P4 down into turn 1, and Livs also getting the move done then
Contact
on Hermione. Yeah, a little bit of contact there.
Oh,
But
Drobel, what's happened to Drobel? It looks like he's lost the rear coming around turn 2. He's no real harm done. He's
oh dear.
That was,
just as you say that, as you say that, Razagama nearly sends him into a spin. Gets
fairly
away with
aggressive
it.
driving there from Raza Gamer. Robust.
Yeah, I mean, I lose it at that corner without any contact, so fair play to Drobel, keeping it pointing the right way.
Absolutely. So 7 laps in, these medium tyres, I think we were seeing last night, they did start to drop off around 7 laps, or at least equalise at the very least. Having said that, I was in a party with Fish Sticks, who wasn't having a particularly good race anyway.
Yep. And out in front, David Lawface, RBT is now within half a second here of Ads, and he's not even using the battery though to try and get towards him. So RBT is very much biding his time here in terms of an overtake. He knows he can get past Ads the minute he wants to, but he's being very smart in his driving here, holding on to that battery, because he knows, like I said, in a couple of laps time, Ads will hold the tyre advantage, and he'll very much need then to use the battery to defend then, as Drobel has had enough, it seems.
Yeah, he's retired in the pits, unfortunately, and actually it looks like his car's coming out, which is not ideal. I really hope people can see his car coming out. Hopefully should just his car should stop on the outside of turn 2. But but we'll stick with these guys at the moment. Drobel, obviously, one too many bad touches, shall we call them. And unfortunately he is out tonight as the Yellows still out in Sector 1. I think that's all they will be. RBT looking like he's maybe struggling a little bit in the traction zones at the moment. And, well, maybe more than fair to say the tyre advantage is going in Ads' favour at the moment, but he doesn't have the DRS. RBT does have the DRS. He's going to go up the inside, down the start-finish straight and into turn 1. Gets the move done, so RBT now in the lead of the race. Ads is going to fight him back. He's going to have the DRS down this down this run into turn 4. He defends to the inside. Ads tries to hang it around the outside. He goes to the switchback, but nothing quite doing. And, well, if you Ads, what do you do at this point? I mean, you're on the what will soon be the fresher tyre, and you know the guy in front's going to start struggling real soon. Do you just stick with him? I think he has managed to keep his ERS level high, slightly higher than the McLaren in front. What do you think the game plan is here?
I mean, like I said, not to sound like a broken record, but Ads will know that the tyre advantage will go his way very shortly, and so he has to stick with him. I mean, I'd use a little bit of the ERS, knowing that when I make my pit stop, you will get a little bit of that ERS back. But as long as you can hold on to RBT here in the stages of where you'd expect him to pull away with that DRS advantage, which he'll find now, of course, and a couple of times on this lap. As long as he uses that as opposed to using the battery, then look, he doesn't need to get past, because he knows that RBT will pit in a couple of laps time. Ads will stay out, of course, probably until about lap 17, 18, depending on a safety car. He'll switch to the mediums, and then he'll have the tyre advantage. But it all depends here. Where does RBT come out in terms of traffic? Will he come out behind, perhaps, Raza Gamer? Where is he at the moment? I mean, Raza Gamer 20 seconds back. If he's in this fight, three-way fight for, P8, I mean, that's not going to be ideal at all. And just as I say that, actually, Raza Gamer gets swiped by Hermione there, but carries on. But if that's where RBT comes out, that's going to really hold up his race. Hold up his race.
We saw it last night. A driver really get cost time by having to overtake the cars that didn't pit at a reasonable time. Speaking of cars that have pit, AMS Drive, Toby Cyril has pit from the mediums. It's surely maybe a little bit of a undercut he's going for. I think it's 2 laps before the suggested pit window. However, he is now on the hards, and he's going to have an undercut of those around him, and that will be probably a little bit scary for Libs. He's going to have to watch what he's doing, as Finiesta does come into the pits from P5. And, well, that's half the horses in the pits, and, well, it's still looking pretty close here at the front. 4 tenths between the front two, and
it's quickly becoming a 2-horse race here between Ads and RBT, obviously, depending on what happens later on. I mean, we're not even at half distance yet, but they're giving us a very interesting race. I just think at this point, I think we are starting to see that hard tyre perform a little bit better than the mediums. Ads is very slightly closer to RBT, and I don't think he's even pushing Ads. I think Ads knows what he's doing here. He's holding on to his tyres. He's not even using his tyre life here. He's just holding on to them. RBT, of course, he's pushing up very much so. He's trying to get that gap to Ads in terms of the DRS, but he can't quite pull it at the moment. Ads very, very content to sit behind him. As it stands, he holds the upper hand here going into the latter steer. And the NVR J Repo is nowhere near, obviously, in terms of challenging for the win. He's got Mag User just behind him as well, but it's a similar situation. Mag User, you'd expect to start dropping off very shortly. And NVR J Repo, to be fair to him, I don't know if he raced last week, but he's done a very fantastic race so far.
Yeah, although 6.7 seconds off the back of Ads, take nothing away. He's been really solid on those hard tyres. Razagamer and Colin going side by side through turn 2. Razagamer has made his way through. Colin not doing too badly. He is up in P8 and he's gone up the inside of Razagamer. But is Ermine going to have a look at both of them? No, Razagamer gets the better of Colin in the end, and Ermine is sticking behind, just watching it all go on. Back towards the back, we got VLX on the old mediums. He is just behind AMS Drive, who of course now has the heat in his tyres and a chip on his shoulder, so he's got Fliniesta for company in front of him, who pitted a lap later. 1.2 seconds the gap, 1.0 second the gap, as RBT.
RBT, yeah, in the pits. I was just about to mention RBT in the pits, and lap 14. It's a little bit later than I expected, to be honest. Mag User follows him as well. So hard snout till the end. Of course, I was just about to mention actually that everyone from P11 down has made a pit stop. Fliniesta, that put him in net P5 before everyone else made their pit stops, but there's a long way to go until some of the hard tyres make their stops before the end of the race. Don't expect Ads to pit on the next lap. I'd be very surprised if he did. But yeah, in terms of how people are getting on the race so far, take nothing away from Brookiemin here. He's made up 11 places so far. He's still got a stop to make, so that'll pull him back to just outside the points you'd expect, along with Colin too. But good races from the both of them so far, keeping the noses clean. And I'm very surprised, David Lawface, we haven't seen any safety cars so far.
Yeah, well, if that's a commentator's curse, then well, I expect it to be honest. RBT has come out in P5. He's got Razagamer for company, but it looks like he will have enough to get away from him. Brookie is 3.5 seconds up the road. Of course, hasn't pit on those hards. Libs in front in P3. Hasn't pitted on the mediums yet, but I think he's very soon to. In fact, we'll stick on board just to see if he comes in this lap. Well, he didn't come in this lap, so let's hop away as lap 15 now. Ads is still in the lead, 7.5 seconds is the gap, so he's still, after this much time, pulling the gap on Drepo. And well, it's been a very good race from the Williams driver. Yes, I did just swap to his car to work out what flavour of blue he was in.
Yeah, I have that problem as well. But I mean, I don't want to give any hints out here. I don't know if Ads is watching the stream or anything, but with where RBT has come out on track, I don't know if you can see this, but RBT has come out in a pretty favourable position. We thought he might come out at the back of that train that he is just ahead of in terms of Hermione, C. Davies and Razagamer, but he is ahead. He's in P5. He's got a good 3-second gap to Brookiemin. It's pretty much perfect for him right now. As if he was a clever man, might think about pitting now and coming out just behind him. He's going to carry on though and save those hard tyres, but every lap that goes on here, RBT is going to gain a good second, you'd think here, considering he has a bit of free track ahead of him, much much fresher tyres. RBT is pretty much hoping that Ads doesn't pit here for a good 2 or 3 laps. Yeah, okay, Ads might have the medium tyres, but all these drivers that are going to pit very shortly are going to be ahead of him. And, yeah, I mean, I think Ads might have missed a trick there.
Yeah, of course, over half race distance at the moment. VLX has pit from the mediums and he's going on to the hards. So, yeah, it's probably around maybe a slight bit early for the mediums. However, I think you take being closer on the in the runnings with RBT. RBT is slowly catching up to Bricky Min. He's caught 1.5 seconds over the past lap and a half or so, and that of course did include the tyre warm up, which your just tyres aren't up to scratch. So stuff and things. Who's close on track?
Things, as it does. Not many people. Not many people. We got Hermione in that battle at the moment for P7. Raz the game has managed to pull out ahead a little bit. C. Davies, of course, yet to pit so far. TJ, stop at the drink. C. Davies now comes into the pit. Lap 17, and that is where I would have expected Ads to come into the pits, but he is continuing on. And yeah, I still think he's the favourite for the win here. Don't get me wrong, but I think that with each lap that goes on, the RBT will be much happier with the position he's in.
Yeah, Dynamo Dan comes into the pits from P15, 16 maybe. Henkers overtakes both him and Jock, and now up into P15. It's not been a great race from the Ferrari perspective. And
I mean, absolutely not, but I mean, sometimes it isn't. It depends on obviously the track. I mean, this might not be Dynamo Dan. I know Dynamo Dan is a very quick driver. Perhaps it just wasn't his track. I mean, you look last week, he got points. He was P8 around Australia. I mean, you look at qualifying today, he was at the back of the field, and in the race, he's been pretty much at the back of the field, but it's all very much track specific. As Jay Repo comes into the pits, by the way, from P2 then, Lives, of course, gets ahead, so will Brookie Min and RBT. But yeah, Ferrari last week, double points finish, so nothing to be concerned about, I think, there from Ferrari. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, of course, maybe it just seems a little bit of a change from Tier 1 Ferrari last season.
Oh yeah, it does it now.
I'm going to bring up at this point, Lives in P2 at the moment on 17 lap old medium tyres. You can tell he's nursing them. I can only assume at this point he's going to the softs.
When I know definitely on the last game in 2021, I mean, sorry, as Razza Gamer has gone so far wide at turn 1 and 2. If that brings out any kind of safety car, then he's basically a different country at that point. And no, there you go.
Yeah, it's a different postcode completely. He's in Qatar. Well, what is that about?
Big up the United Arab Emirates. There we go. Anyway.
Yeah, Ads in the pits from the lead.
That's took him a while. Do you know what? Honestly, it's just a little bit too long for softs, but if he was feeling really ballsy, he might have given it a go, but of course it is the medium tyres. He needs to give it another couple of laps if he was thinking about the soft tyres. But when I was on 2020, when we were speaking about 2021, in terms of the F1 games, that was the better strategy. It was medium to softs. That was the way to go around Bahrain.
Yeah, look how close they are. Coming out of the pits.
That
Ooh.
surprises me. And RBT must be very surprised by that as well. I think now, of course, I think I said all along, I think Ads has got the upper hand in this fight. But definitely now, RBT will be left sweating because I think he would expect to be a little bit more ahead of Ads than he is now.
Yeah,
And
of
Ali
course.
agrees with me. Ali in the chat says, "How the fuck?"
Yeah, there's a really good stint there from Ads on the hard tyres as VLX puts in the fastest lap of the race at the moment. Oh, Ads has dipped to 2 tyres on that outside curb and has cost himself rather a large amount of time there. He's now 2.3 seconds back, and that's going to set him back quite a bit. That's caught out a little by the amount of grip he has on these tyres, and just drifts a little bit wide as well, yeah, now he's going to have to burn some ERS to get caught back up to RBT. We've got a bit of fighting at the back between Jensen and Dynamo Dan. They're going side by side through the S's in Sector 2. And Jensen comes out on top. Let's hop forward to Henkers, who gets overtaken by Ermine down the DRS straight in the middle sector. And that's about all the excitement you get. Let's have a look at MVR overtaking Maguser then. He's up into P4. Maguser tries to stick his nose in, but MVR was too far past and has managed to get the move done into turn 1. And now he is, well, he's what's he got to do? He's just got to drive his own race. Hopefully he can pull away from Maguser. Collateral Ads, who's, let's be honest, he's had a bit of a stinker today. A little bit quiet. He's been at the back. And, well, P13, P15. He comes out on the medium tyres. And, well, he's got 10 laps to go. Ooh, as he's side by side with Jensen and Dynamo Dan. As Jensen has got the move done, Collateral Ads is all over the back of him. He's got no ERS. He tried to look up the inside into turn 3. It didn't quite work out. Dynamo Dan trying to get the better exit than Collateral Ads, but doesn't manage to. Jensen is now pulling away as Ads sets, unsurprisingly, the fastest lap of the race. That 2.3 second gap, well, it's now 0.8 seconds, Bidley.
Yeah, I mean, you expect that to happen with the advantage that Ads has now. He dropped, as you said, 2.3 back after he bottomed out on that curb, but he has very much made that time up, and yeah, well, expect to see him in the lead, net lead of his race. Very quickly, quick one on NVR J Repo as well. He's pulling out of the DRS now of Maguser, as you'd expect. Set for a podium at this stage. I don't know if he raced last week, but if not, I'm pretty sure it'd be his first podium in FPRL, unless I've missed something in all that.
It is correct.
Yeah, it'll be a fantastic race from him in around here. Henker's in the pits now for the soft tyres. That's what Livs is trying to replicate. Livs is now trying to stretch out, go onto the soft tyres. If he pits now, he'll come out then in P7, just ahead of Brookie Min. He may as well come into the pits on this lap. He's not going to lose anything doing so, and expect to see him in. I would imagine if not, he's just losing time to his teammate Fliniesta. He does carry on. That just makes no sense to me. But we might see a move for the race here. David Longface Ads looking to get ahead.
Yeah, he's going to go up the inside into turn 1, and he does have the overspeed with the DRS. He does have the better grip, and he does get the move done. Adds fantastically into the lead of the race, but RBT's coming back at him. He's going to try and go around the outside at turn 4. And ooh, he had a little look up the inside, but Adds on the fresher rubber. It served him well into the traction zone off the back of turn 4. So Ad's now gonna look to try and extend that lead. We'll hop back to the onboard. Oh, Libs has gone round. Oh, that is one lap too late, and his tyre's gone pop. I think his tyre's gone pop.
He's up to about 170 by the end of the straight. Is that a rear tyre? That's different.
Yeah, rear right. Yeah. Oh, piss. Yep, they can't even my capture cards died. Yep. So I'm just gonna restart restart Streamlabs quickly. The stream will go down for a second, so I'll be back. Apologies, guys. Cheers.